3.3%. That is the number the Bureau of Labor Statistics printed 6 days ago. Nationally, averaged, smoothed across 330 million people from Honolulu to Bangor. And then there is the number a 29-year-old pharmacy tech in Tampa saw at the gas pump last Tuesday. $4.31 a gallon. Those two numbers are supposedly describing the same economy. They are not. The National Consumer Price Index rose 3.3% for the 12 months ending March 2026, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics report released April 10th. That is the highest annual print since May 2024. In February, it was 2.4%. 1 month, nearly a full percentage point jump. And the engine behind that jump was not groceries, not rent, not insurance. It was energy. The energy index climbed 10.9% in a single month. Gasoline alone surged 21.2%. The Iran conflict pushed crude through the ceiling, and the ceiling landed on your gas receipt. But 3.3 is a national average, and a national average is a kind of lie that tells the truth about nobody. The Northeast printed 3.6%, the Midwest came in at 3.4%. The West at 3.1%, the South at 3.0%. Already there is a gap. The spread between the highest region and the lowest is 0.6 percentage points. That does not sound like much. On an $83,000 household income, which is approximately the national median according to the Census Bureau's 2024 report. 0.6 of a point is $502 a year. Not nothing, not headline news either. But that is region versus region, city versus city is where the math turns personal. New York. The New York-Newark Jersey City metro area printed 4.0% for the 12 months ending March. Per the BLS regional release, 4%. That is almost a full point above the national average. Energy in the New York metro surged 17.1% over the same period. Food, up 3.3%. Core inflation, the stuff that sticks around after energy calms down, running at 3.3%. If you are renting a one-bedroom in Queens and commuting by car to a job in the Bronx, your personal inflation rate is not 3.3, it is probably closer to 5. Nobody posts about this on social media. Everyone adjusts quietly. Think of national CPI like a thermostat reading for a house with no insulation in one room and a fireplace blazing in another. The thermostat says 68, one room is 54, the other is 82. The average is accurate. The average is also useless if you are the one shivering. Now Miami, the Miami-Fort Lauderdale-West Palm Beach Metro reported 2.1% through February. The most recent local data available from the BLS Southeast Regional Office. That sounds better than the national number, but the categories tell a different story. Food at home in Miami rose 3% over the year. Meats, poultry, fish, and eggs jumped 8.9%. Shelter up 3.1%, medical care up 5.3%. The headline looks tame because energy in Miami had been falling through February. Down 1.7% year over year. That was before the Iran conflict spiked gasoline in March. When the next Miami-specific print drops in May, that energy number is going to flip. The headline will catch up, the grocery bill already did. Here is a person who lives inside these numbers. A 33-year-old claims adjuster in the Miami Metro making $64,000 a year. Renting a one-bedroom for $1,900 a month. That is already 35.6% of gross income on housing. Shelter costs in Miami rose 3.1% year over year. On $1,900 a month, that is an extra $59 a month just to stay in the same apartment. Doing the same commute, looking at the same parking lot from the same window. $59 a month is $708 a year. That is not a raise, that is a deduction from a raise that this person may not have received. By any reasonable standard, this is exactly the kind of worker the economy is supposed to work for. Employed full-time, no debt crisis, no spending problem. Just a person standing still on a belt that is moving backward. And this is all public data, public math, not personal advice for anyone's specific situation. But the numbers paint a picture that gets harder to look away from with every city we add. Phoenix. The Phoenix-Mesa-Scottsdale Metro came in at 1.7% through February. Per the BLS Western Regional Office, lowest of the cities in this lineup, looks like a win, look closer. Food in Phoenix rose 3.3%, medical care surged 6.9%. Non-alcoholic beverages, and that is not a minor line item when it is 115 degrees outside, spiked 18.1%. The headline is low because shelter costs in Phoenix actually dipped. Rent of primary residence fell 1.4%, owner's equivalent rent edged down. Phoenix is one of the few major metros where housing costs are softening. But if you do not own a home and you are not signing a new lease, you are not seeing that relief. You are seeing the grocery receipt and the doctor's bill. You opened the pharmacy app on your phone to refill a prescription. You saw the copay had changed. You did not remember agreeing to that. The thermostat says 1.7 in Phoenix. But if you eat, drink water, and occasionally see a doctor, your room is a lot warmer than the thermostat claims. But here is the part that should actually make you sit up. Detroit, the Detroit-Warren-Dearborn Metro reported 2.3% through February. Per the BLS Midwest Regional Office, middle of the pack. But Detroit is a car city. Private transportation costs and motor fuel dominate household budgets in ways they do not in New York or Miami. When gasoline jumped 21.2% nationally in March, Detroit felt that in a way that a New Yorker with a subway pass did not. The average commute in the Detroit metro is 27 minutes by car, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. $1 per gallon increase in gas on a vehicle that gets 25 miles per gallon and drives 30 miles a day costs an extra $44 a month. That sounds small until you remember this person also saw food go up, saw insurance go up, saw everything go up except their paycheck. Real average hourly earnings fell 0.6% from February to March 2026. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics Real Earnings Report released the same week as the CPI, workers got a 0.2% raise in nominal terms, prices rose 0.9%. The gap is your purchasing power, and it shrank. Nationally, real average hourly earnings are up only 0.3% over the entire past year. A third of 1%, that is not treading water, that is treading water with your shoes on. Same carpet from 2019, same commute, same grocery store. The numbers on the receipts just keep drifting upward and nobody sends a notification. There is a number that connects all of this, and it is not 3.3. It is the spread. The difference between what the national headline says and what a specific person in a specific city actually pays for the specific things they cannot stop buying: food, shelter, energy, medical care. The BLS calls these necessities when they build the CPI basket. But the basket also includes used cars, airline fares, recreation, apparel. If you did not buy a used car this month, if you did not fly anywhere, that part of the index means nothing to your life. Your personal CPI is built from a much shorter list. And that shorter list, in most of the cities we just walked through, is running above the headline. New York, 4% headline, necessities basket likely closer to 5. Miami, 2.1% headline through February. Food and shelter basket already above 3, and the March energy spike has not been priced in yet. Phoenix, 1.7% headline, food and medical care basket above 4. Detroit, 2.3% headline. Transportation and food basket about to absorb a gasoline shock that rewrites the number. Kind of wild when you think about it. 4 cities, 4 completely different inflation profiles, same national headline. The government did not lie, the government averaged. And an average, when the distribution underneath it looks like this, is a mask. Every institution with a financial stake in consumer confidence has a structural incentive to cite the headline number. The headline is cleaner. The headline fits in a push notification. The headline does not require you to look up your metro area on the BLS website and cross-reference expenditure categories against your own bank statement. None of them make money when you do that math yourself. So here is the terminal number, the one that ties it all together. Take a household earning $83,730. The national median, according to the Census Bureau's 2024 report. Apply the national headline rate of 3.3%. That household needs an extra $2,763 this year. Just to maintain the same standard of living, not to improve, to stay even. Now apply the New York metro rate of 4%. That is $3,349. Miami's necessities basket at 3+%. Detroit is post-gasoline shock effective rate, Phoenix's food and medical reality. In every case, the number is higher than 2,763. In some cases, meaningfully higher. Start with 83,730. Federal taxes, state taxes, FICA. You are down to somewhere around 62,000 in most of these cities, give or take. Subtract housing at 35% of gross, subtract food, subtract transportation, subtract insurance. What is left is the margin, and inflation is eating the margin first, not the paycheck. The margin. The part that was supposed to go to savings, to a vacation, to the emergency fund, to the thing you have been putting off for 3 years. 3.3%. That is what the thermostat says. Your room is not 68 degrees. You already knew that. You have known it every time you stood in a checkout line and watched the total, and felt that thing in your chest where you do not say anything. You just tap the card and walk out, and you do not do the math until later. And when you do the math, you do not tell anyone. At least 3 people in your life are doing the same thing right now. They are not going to bring it up, and neither are you. The system was not built to track your zip code. And that is not a flaw in the measurement. That is the measurement working exactly as it was designed, just not for you.